just waiting to see it. Still don't see it. Okay. Okay, I'm tweeting it now.
Right, yeah, okay. I'm on your profile right now.
Okay, hitting send.
Okay, let me just retweet it.
All right.
Yeah. Great. Okay, yeah. Retweeted, posted. Okay.
All right. All right. We got some people in. Few viewers. My computer's a little bit slow right now.
That's okay. What it's raining a bit here, so yeah, hopefully the connection will be all right.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to just wait a little bit to see when people come in.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
You hear me okay and everything?
Yeah, perfect. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you pretty good. You guys hearing both of us well? To those in the chat so far. I'm actually about to try. I've been haunted on Instagram lately with like keto diet snacks. Just like all types of different like, oh, you don't eat chips right now because you're on the keto diet, but you check these out, they're better than a chip kind of thing. I just got these chicken chips.
Oh, okay.
Not sure if you
Yeah,
eat.
then
Not sure if you eat meat or not, but
no, I do.
okay, nothing wrong with that. This is yeah, these are hot chicken chips, Nashville style, from a brand called Hattie B's, and I'm going to try them on here for the first time in front of everybody, and see if I can recommend these things, which have been on my freaking Instagram. I must say, like, over and over again. Like, Instagram will not leave me alone with these ads. So they're basically like they're like chicken.
So,
What's up?
so we're witnessing something incredible here, huh?
This
So
is the
your
first time. This is once in a lifetime opportunity that you're getting to see right now. This is
I'm
like,
honored to be here.
yeah, for the people who speak Spanish, it's like chicharrones de pollo. Let me just. Oh.
That good, huh?
Not bad. Not bad. Definitely giving me chicharrón. Definitely giving me, rind kind of thing. Good flavor, and then the heat is actually pretty good, pretty strong. Like, it's leaving a good spice afterwards.
But spicy food is the best. But
Yeah, I'm eating a lot of spicy food.
I'm like South Asian, so all I eat is spicy food. It's great.
It's not bad at all. I mean, I'm Dominican, so Dominicans like spice, but not like that much. But my girlfriend is Mexican, and her family is very like particularly big on spicy food. So she's basically upped my spice game over the past year or two, where I was like eating, I thought I ate spicy before, but these folks, they're on a different level, like a different level, So, I'm stronger now. I'm stronger than yesterday.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Look at us. We have
Uh,
viewers.
yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. I could check the viewers on my YouTube, right? Because the last time I saw people comment and I didn't see anything.
Well, I think you'll have to do the thing where you go on YouTube on your phone or something, or on some sort of
Yeah.
tab and just have it there. Are you guys hearing Fawzul okay?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a big one.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie. These are
It's
pretty
good,
good.
huh?
These are pretty good. A little pricey, but pretty good.
I'm just having my tea right now. Like, I'm
Okay.
just having a cup of tea. Yeah, that's
What
all.
kind of tea?
Well, it's just regular black tea with milk. No, wait, it's not black tea. It's Ceylon tea with milk, right? I don't really understand the differences between tea. I mean, obviously, there are differences. But yeah, Ceylon.
I kind of feel you on that. Like,
Right.
it's just like this tea has caffeine. This tea also has
Mm-hmm.
caffeine. You know, like
Yeah.
chamomile and lavender tea is usually my go-to when I'm trying to wind down at times like this. But you're on the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the world, and you're trying to sort of
Yeah.
pick yourself up. I think so. It makes sense.
Yeah. I just, I mean, I tried other kinds of tea, but I could never settle for any of them. I'm just like, no, you're just ruining the sanctity of tea. That's not okay.
I think tea is a beautiful thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person who is like the most like aggressive like anti-pharmaceutical, anti-medicine person, but I
Mm-hmm.
do strongly suggest like people get into drinking tea, using herbal remedies, using essential oils, and you know different types of natural remedies for things, or natural sort of healthy things to engage with that just kind of help your body and
Right. Exactly.
kind of target a lot of
Um,
different things.
right. So, like, where I'm from, we base a lot of our cultures and practices around natural things, right?
Hmm.
So, right. So it's like, my grandma is the first one to have something in mind. Like, she has a remedy for everything,
Oh wow.
and it's, yeah, it's pretty useful actually. So yeah, we tend to focus more on natural stuff than Western medicine over here, which is great, I guess, in a way.
They say that the difference is kind of like Western medicine is very, very focused on targeting the thing that is the problem, sort of. Like, if you have a bad sort of leg, you get a
Mm-hmm.
specific treatment or a specific medicine that will heal your leg, right? And it might
Yeah,
cause like some things for the rest of your body, but it's gonna fix your leg. It's gonna help your leg.
yeah,
Whereas sort of Eastern, sort of traditional medicine or medical um, sort of remedies tend to be more like holistic. So,
mm-hmm.
what's going on the rest of your body that caused the problem with the leg, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I
I
think,
think I like that approach more
yeah,
than, yeah, it's definitely better than a cause. I mean, we don't believe in a single cause. Wait, I'm like, yeah, that's my mom.
hi mom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching a video last night, so she came into my room and she was like, "Is that Elliot?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
How does she know
yeah,
me?
okay." And then she was listening to me speak. I know because she was watching our live stream last time, right? So she recognized your voice and she was listening. And then what I think she was trying to pray, and then she was like, I couldn't focus on praying. I'm like, why? His voice is so nice. And I'm like,
No.
Yeah, she's listening in. Oh my, go away. Okay, yeah. But yeah, she's listening in and she's laughing. But yeah, she was saying that, and I was watching a video with her. So she was like, "You speak so well," and yeah, I'm like, he does. Yeah.
Did she know that you're like 3 times cooler than I am?
No, no way. You're so much more cooler than I am.
No, no. We're not doing
No
no.
way. Come on.
We're not doing
No,
this,
no, I'm
bro.
serious. We're definitely because you are way. I mean, like for a very long time, I think I saw you on my timeline, right? I used to see you on my timeline, and I was like, "Guy is so cool." Okay, like yeah, he's so cool. And I think once you retweet, right? Once you retweet a tweet of mine, and I got super excited over that. I was like, "Oh my god, he retweeted that!" So yeah, you're pretty cool. Trust me.
That's so. It's just so flattering when people say that, and so kind of
Yeah.
it kind of blows my mind because it's like, what do I do other than like tweet quirky stuff, you know?
Yeah, I get that because when I see people say things about like about me as well, and I'm just like, are you sure you're not talking about someone else? Or
Right.
because it feels, I mean, you're grateful for it. It still feels a little awkward. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like on days like today, I really had like 10 different hit tweets. Like it's been pretty funny. All day I've just been rattling off hit tweet after hit tweet, which is such a funny
I
thing to think
saw
about.
some of them. It's just funny. Yeah.
I had hit tweets that I didn't even think were gonna be hit tweets. Like I shared this one YouTube comment that popped off, and I shared like this clip from yesterday night that popped off, and I got this one meme now about B that we'll talk about in a second, but that popped off. Then I started the whole reaction thing meme. Like I don't even know what I was on. Like everything I was
Yeah,
doing was hitting.
you on a roll. I was seeing you on my timeline. I was laughing because it was funny. Especially the professional reacting meme. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable and pretty engaged right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a while I was a little bit just not to say resistant, maybe tepid, tentative, maybe kind of reflective about like my relationship with Army and BTS
Mm-hmm.
and where my position was in the fandom and what it meant and what I was supposed to do. And I'm always
Right.
thinking about that, kind of like, okay, what's appropriate for me to tweet about or talk about. But as I start to put on background music really quietly for the listeners, and for me because I like background music, I think recently something happened that I can't pinpoint. Just something in my brain. I think because I've just kind of had some period of time to reflect and I learned about myself, and I really feel like I grew just a lot in like a couple of days. I really
Mm-hmm.
felt like I feel like recently I kind of came to terms a bit more with like writing what I can do with this channel and with BTS, and I felt like you know there's a place for me to do different things, and as long as I'm being appropriate about it, like I can keep this in its proper place, and just a lot of things opened up. Kind of, I'm not sure how to word it other than to say like a lot of things sort of opened up, and so I think on some level that like that like kind of has made me a little bit more like creative, a little bit more free, because I'm just making stuff now. Posted a video today,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just random. Like I just put my phone on and started talking. I've just been feeling this ability to be a little bit more like, screw it, let me try stuff, let me work on stuff, and just not necessarily have fun all the time, but like, not be inhibited about it.
Right. I feel like I went through the same thing a few weeks ago, a few months ago, I guess. I mean, I feel like I hit that wall like every once in a while with my account, especially Tor. Um, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of anxiety, right, when you have an account, especially
Yeah.
with a large following, I feel, right? Or and I think there's a lot that goes on Army Twitter where you're like, what am I doing here? And, is what I'm doing impactful, or should I do something? I mean, there's a lot of questions that ring, right? I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of my friends know this. I mean, they kind of witness my breakdowns on my private timeline, which is funny. Where I'm just super, like, I'm worried or overwhelmed with, with what I tweet. And I guess I'm actually pretty glad that we took the time to reflect on that. Like, like what should I do or what am I doing? I feel like that's something good and necessary, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's important that we engage in this space in a way that makes us happy, right? So
Yeah.
a way that fulfills us, right? I think that's super important because at the end, we're just fans too. We deserve that ability to, have fun with others. Right? So yeah, I mean, as long as we're doing what we can and,
Yeah.
doing the right thing, what we define as right, I think we're doing great actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're
We're
doing
doing
fantastic.
good. I agree. I mean, it's.
Exactly.
I think sometimes we get distracted a lot. In this
Yeah.
world, all of us here probably, and it's just so easy to get distracted, because there are just so many different anxieties and ideas and things. There's just so many things, and
Right.
sort of talking about that in the video that I posted today, and
Mm-hmm.
mentioning how I was feeling kind of like, sometimes I just don't want to even do this. Like, sometimes I don't even
No,
want
I
to
get it.
be like doing the BTS. Like, it kind of might have like lifted a weight off my shoulders
Mm-hmm.
to express that and sort of re-engage me with what's important. Like,
Right.
I think the most important thing sometimes is just like do the thing and try to do it really good, and
Mm-hmm.
all the other stuff will figure itself out as long as you stay aware, stay self-aware, and try to connect with people and try to be good, to people. So, like thinking about like, oh, how will this song get received? How will this video get received? And what kind of things should I do here? And how should I look in this picture? And how should I word this? Just try to make it good. Just try to do a good thing. And whether or not people think of me a certain way, it's not about that. It's about, did I do the thing good? Okay. Because at the end of the day, like, I have people that I can go to that I call my friends, inside the fandom, outside the fandom. I have family. I have things I like to do, and no matter what happens, I'll adapt and thrive in a way. And if you feel that way, life just gets a lot easier, you know?
Right. Um, yeah, exactly. I feel like, as long as we understand that we're not responsible for what other people think about us,
Yeah.
it gets a lot easier, right? It gets super easy. It's like a huge burden is just lifted off your shoulder.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, yeah, I mean, I feel like, none of us are designed to have so many people watch us at the same time, right? So, you grow conscious of the fact that there's a lot of people watching you. And so you want to give your best, you want to do your best,
Yeah.
but you're also worried about what other people will think about it. Like, is it enough? Or, it's never,
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, it's never really about what you want to put out or what you want to say. I mean, and I think that's, at the end, it is a little sad, right? Because it's what we do, it's what we create that should matter, and what we think of it.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, it does get a little exhausting, and I think it definitely takes time to, just believe in that, believe in what we do. But I sincerely believe that we will get there one day. So, yeah, don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I want to talk about B a little bit because there's some
Yeah.
discourse, but also just like some general stuff. But like,
Right.
one of the things I think people don't realize I think there's there's so many things with BTS where it's just you feel like, man, they're so ahead of people. Like they're so ahead of us. Like we don't even really grasp what they're saying until a couple of years. Like it's gonna be like 2025, and they'll be like, and someone, oh my god, like what they were saying on this song, you know, like it doesn't resonate yet. And I think on B, like the whole message of like, let's focus on just being, just existing, living, and not living within these ideas of how we're supposed to live and how we're supposed to feel, who we're supposed to be, but just being is like one of the most important messages in the universe. It is a very religious message. It's a very spiritual message, you know. And when I think about it, it always brings me to a better place, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many people do we know who tell us that, you know, it's just okay to exist as you are, right?
Yeah.
That you shouldn't force change or shouldn't force anything on yourself. Just it's okay. It's enough that you exist as you do,
Yeah.
right? So especially in this, like, in a pandemic that, you know, has just changed our lives. I don't know, for the worst. I feel, you know, I was optimistic at the beginning, but everything's just, you know, gone right now. Right? But it's like, you know, like I'm 21 now, right?
Right.
So I entered this pandemic when I was 19, and I feel like I'm at the beginning of this stage where like so much is changing, but so much of it is still the same, right? And there was this urge that I had to do something. I had to do something. Like I couldn't just sit at home and just wait, right?
Yeah.
But I think BTS releasing that album, or like doing what they do, right? Just reminding us that, you know, they, like, you don't have to do anything. Like, you know, it's like B isn't BTS telling us to be happy or to be, you know, just telling us to exist, which is amazing, right? I'm just thinking about it right now. Right? So yeah, I think, you know, I mean, it's super important that we have people like them saying that, because again, I'm getting off track right now, I feel.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Keep going.
but
There's no off track.
yeah, right. So yeah, so I think as someone who just entered her 20s and hearing that from someone, you know, it's okay to just do what you do, and, you know, to be easy on yourself. That was super important for me, because, you know, I don't think it's something a lot of people say to you, but something that should be said. So yeah, I don't know. It's moments like these where I'm super relieved that I did find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that way a lot. And I feel like it's just very interesting to like reflect on how they've impacted you.
Right.
Because that really, like, sometimes we get distracted, obviously, and like I said, life has many distractions, and it comes in all types of forms and in all types of places. And I think sometimes we forget just like what's happened to us. You know what I mean? Like the permission to dance thing. So with the video that I shared on Twitter, which was from a follower, let me actually message her right now.
I saw that she was following me, and I don't think I pressed the follow back button that fast, because I was like, you know, I love you. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, okay.
Yeah, you were like, let me do this.
Yeah.
So her name is Gabby. Her Twitter is Gabby_Moonchild. She's I don't know, I don't see her tweets very often. Like I'm not, like, all I saw was this one video. And in this video, which now has 6,800 views, so 6,800 views. She talks about D'Angelo Wallace and and permission to dance. And the way she breaks stuff down for about 35 minutes. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Moni. Moni has donated $10. So all donations are going to be split between me and Fawz tonight. So any of your donations will be super, super helpful. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah. So Gabby, her YouTube channel is called Gabby Has Thoughts, and she has a video about this. And I saw it, and just the way that she was breaking things down was so interesting. I mean, I was compelled by the way she was talking. And one of the things she was talking about was, you know, I'm tired of hearing people talk about, oh, the lyrics of Permission to Dance. Oh, but the lyrics are so trash, da da da. As if it's something that we just like accept. Because like, it's one thing, like, yeah, sure, Permission to Dance. It's in English. The lyrics aren't like the most complex thing. And they're not like, you know, if we compare them to something like a record like Fake Love or something, we might be like, oh, that's not as good. People have different tastes, da da da. But like to be like, to like just casually accept like, oh yeah, you know, lyrics are trash or whatever. Like when the reality of the song is that it's this metaphor.
Right.
Like the idea that somebody could say, oh, the Permission to Dance is a song about dancing. It's not at all. It's a metaphor for allowing yourself to take some time to just be happy and just to have fun. But that you don't need people to tell you that you need to have fun. Even though there's all this stuff going on, you can still find time and moments to remember those happy feelings, to channel those happy feelings that you've had throughout your life, even when you were a little child, and to still be that person. And you don't have to quell that in yourself because things are not so good. All of that was just like, whoa, you know, it just hit me like a tidal wave because I never looked at it like that before. Because I was looking at Permission to Dance, I was like, oh yeah, you know, if you be happy, like look like a positive outlook, allowing people to be happy during the pandemic, da da da. But to have it explained like that really made me realize just how powerful what BTS are doing is in this record and why they care about it so much, and like open my mind up to a whole level of like internal discourse that I hadn't even touched. Like it was just like, yeah, you know, I can be happy, you know, like it's not even something that I thought about so much. So it was just like, that's true, that's absolutely true, and that's something that everybody needs to hear. That's crazy. But that's just the kind of realizations that you have with BTS all the time, where it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm honestly like relieved that our fandom, you know, has people that, you know, just pick out the little details that go off so often unnoticed by us, right? Yeah, right. Because like a lot of people look at the BTS music with their own lens, which is amazing, right? So yeah, you sent me that clip yesterday, and I saw it, and I was just like, yeah, I felt what you felt, because I was like, whoa, wait. Yeah, it is a metaphor, right? It is a metaphor. Like, whoa, okay. Because even when I was like, you know, I was watching it, I'm like, wow, it's so sweet that they put out a song like that to remind us, you know. But then, I don't know, seeing Gabby describe it as a metaphor, you know, it was just like, wow.
Because it's so obvious,
it was
too.
That
like,
wow moment. Yeah. And yeah, it was like, after I heard that, I was like, okay, I mean, okay, you know, it was at that kind of moment. But you know, it just hit me like, you know, wow, they're doing such amazing things. They're putting out such a wonderful, incredible message at a time where people need it so much, right? When I was watching their Permission to Dance music video, I just remembered my reaction to Life Goes On, right? So I was watching, I remember feeling this, you know, this huge amount of gratitude for BTS while I was watching Life Goes On, because I needed, you know, I was watching it. And so yeah, it was the same feeling I felt when I was watching Permission to Dance. And yeah, I mean, it's like, I think also people are allowed to dislike things, right? They're allowed to have varied interests. You know, no one's coming at you or saying you don't like a song, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's coming at you. Because I mean, people are allowed to have interests, different interests. But I think what really kind of just hit a soft spot was the fact that people, you know, I mean, it was supposed to be such a beautiful gift, and people took it way out of context and, you know, made it something, right? People made it something it shouldn't have been, which kind of upset me, I guess. So yeah.
it's hard not to be upset sometimes, but I think you kind of have to.
Right.
Like I think one sec.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we kind of have to get to a place as fans, as humans, where we're
Mm-hmm.
able to expect and
Mm-hmm.
understand that things are going to be taken certain ways. Like,
Yeah.
especially us, like having been in this fandom for a while,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 2 years for me. It's like at some point you're gonna have to adjust to the fact that some people are gonna see shit in some ways that you really don't like,
In
and
yeah.
sometimes they're going to be doing it genuinely, and a lot of times they're not. A lot of times it's going to be they have an agenda and they use whatever they see permission to
Mm-hmm.
dance to push it. Like
Yeah.
these folks who see permission to dance in this particular way of it's this cheesy English song lyrics are bad, whatever. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they were coming into it expecting that, because
Right.
they had already set these expectations in their mind that BTS had done these English songs, that they had, potentially quote unquote sold out, and they're being overworked and trying to cash into the Western market, all this stuff, right? And
Yeah.
it's a feeling you get, it's a feeling that visits you. And sometimes when you get that feeling and it visits you, you look for confirmation of that bias. So it becomes an
Yeah.
intellectual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes, you have to examine your emotions. Did I get those feelings too? Yeah, sometimes I got those feelings of like, oh, here comes another English song, and oh, BTS they said they were gonna do English, they weren't gonna do English songs before, and oh, da da da. Like, yeah, I was visited by those feelings, but I was just kind of like, let me be patient. Let me wait. Let me see how this comes out. Let me feel this. Let me appreciate this for what it is, and then see how it pans out.
Yeah.
And in being able to do that, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to really resonate with the comeback in a certain way that I think folks that are looking to push a specific agenda were never going to want to do. And that's just a reality of life.
Yeah.
We don't live in a world where everybody's going to be
Right.
open and honest about their feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
sort of be patient with their feelings about certain things of BTS, and be like, oh, let me actually look into, like, it is what it is. So
No, yeah, it's too much to ask. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, when you saw the response for permission to dance, you could, I mean, it was obvious that, they were just waiting for the chance to just jump in and be like, oh, yeah, see, it confirms everything I thought about them, right? Um,
Right.
so you notice that, like, you notice that they were just waiting for that. So, yeah, which is, I mean, I get it, I get it. It's still frustrating, but I get it. But right. So yeah,
It's
wait,
like,
well, I was going to say something and then I messed up. Yeah.
it's kind of like, sometimes people will message me, comment on my replies, and comment on my YouTube channel, on my videos, like, oh, I can't believe you're engaging with this, you're just giving this person clout, you're giving this person attention. And one thing that they'll
Mm-hmm.
say is like, you're never going to convince them. They're just here to argue. They just want to push a certain message. Just don't give them air. Don't give them attention. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that at the core, that's a good value to have, right? Yeah, don't give people attention when they're just looking for drama, when they're just looking to, promote their platform and da da da. Like, sure,
Sure, yeah.
right? But we don't live in a vacuum. We don't exist in
Mm-hmm.
a vacuum where it's either this or it's that. It's either you
Yeah.
don't engage at all and you beat them and you save the day, or you engage and then you give them clout and you give them what they want. There are always
Mm-hmm.
transactions and things that you can get from things.
Right.
So when I saw this situation with D'Angelo Wallace, I knew that in my mind, for me, for how I feel, like I was gonna feel like I wanted to respond, and I knew
Mm-hmm.
that my feeling that way in this case was something to tap into, not something to just push down, or like just like wait on or push away, because I know that there are lots of armies that would be interested in hearing about this, would be interested in having that perspective presented. And even I didn't set out to be like, I'm gonna stop D'Angelo Wallace. You know what I mean? Like, that guy probably has no idea that I exist, even though there's some views on my video or whatever. That guy, he's not gonna change his. I don't expect he's gonna change his mind, and he's a kid too. Like, he's 20. Like, he's not. I'm not here to be like, D'Angelo Wallace, change your opinion. Fans of D'Angelo Wallace, you change your opinions too. I don't care about them. What I care about is the people that are interested in hearing this side of the argument, and in hearing the possibility / reality that in this dude's criticism, he said a lot of things that were wrong. And if I could get 1 or 2 people who are just interested in that to watch my video and be like, wow, that was good, glad that I watched this, because now I learned what the problem is, and that's interesting, and maybe be like, oh, let me learn more about BTS, or maybe they're fans and they're like, oh wow, that changed my mind in a certain way, I didn't see this fandom in that way, I should learn more about this, or I should be better about this, whatever. That's all that matters. I care about armies, I care about affecting the discourse in a positive way in some way, and like it or not, when people have these big, visible like videos sometimes where they present this anti-army, anti-BTS argument in some way, it can be an opportunity for those of us on the other side to say, let's use that attention to promote what we're doing and to promote the truth that we know. And it was really encouraging to see like somebody like Gabby and somebody like Naruto's Emails both have these videos that got picked up by the YouTube algorithm, both about D'Angelo Wallace's video or his videos, presenting this succinct information and showing this other side of the arguments that he's put forth that you wouldn't have had present. That wouldn't have been present if we weren't there to put it there. So I just see, I guess, there's a yin and yang to everything, and sometimes it is better to just not, like, I'm not engaging with whatever that conservative far right wing dude is gonna do. Maybe somebody else might want to. I don't have an interesting way to engage with that. But in this case, I knew that I could engage with it in an interesting way and perhaps do something. And I'm glad that I did it, because a lot of people thought it was good, and a lot of people felt like it was valuable in some way. And that's all that matters to me, not, oh, I changed an auntie's mind,
Right. I'm actually glad that, people like you and Gabby actually stood up and said something, because it was the perfect chance to actually say something, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, it wasn't like it was respectful, and it was just basically us stating the truth for what it was, right? I mean, I feel like if you put something out, right, again, you have to, expect a certain, a response, right? And people are allowed to question what you put out, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just throw around these, absurd claims into this, into a space and just expect people to take it as it is, right? We have every right to, say something, what we feel. And I'm actually pretty glad you did say something, because I was watching your video and I'm just like, cheering like, yes, thank you, right? Thank you. Because I felt like this incredible amount of frustration after seeing all the discourse on Twitter, right? I actually decided, you know what? I can't do this. Let me just focus on other things that I want to do, right? But I saw, I saw your article, and I was like, I was super relieved actually seeing that, because I'm glad that we are saying something back, and it's important that people hear us, right? We have the space, let's use it for doing the right thing. And I don't see, like, I know, I mean, of course, there's going to be someone like, you're wasting your time. People are going to say what they want to. We can't change them, right? I mean, there's always, but it's not about changing what they feel, right? It's about putting this message to an audience that will find it and, find something of substance in it, right? And that's exactly what happened, with people like you and Gabby. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that we do have YouTube armies, stepping up and saying something. I feel like we should.
Yeah. Well, this is a bit
Yeah.
of a larger, much like sort of
Mm-hmm.
heavier subject, but when it came to like
Right.
leftists on YouTube, right, and the whole breadtube movement, and people like
Mm-hmm.
ContraPoints, Natalie, and H Bomber guy, these YouTubers that have built these huge platforms and converted a lot of people into more progressive and leftist ideologies, and raised huge amounts of money, all these different things. Abigail Thorne and Philosophy Tube, these YouTubers, a lot of what got them the attention, especially ContraPoints, was seeing that years ago YouTube was in a huge stronghold of like right wing, skeptic,
Yeah.
conservative, broy like ideology, of just these
Mm-hmm.
dudes like these usually white dudes, and like it was just a mess. If you were to look up politics on YouTube, it was just a complete mess, and
Mm-hmm.
they used that and used the space and were like, let me do a really good response to this. And I don't expect that all these people are going to turn around and treat me nicely at all. But
Right.
being in this space and elevating this and doing it in a way that's engaging and might attract people
Mm-hmm.
is going to change somebody's opinion. It's going to open somebody's mind. It's going to educate somebody. And it educated
Right.
people, and people were interested in it, and it got more and more attention and more buzz. And slowly it built into this
Mm-hmm.
thing where they became hugely influential. And now, politics on YouTube, there's a lot of different things going on now. Like somebody even like Hasanabi, who's like one of the most popular Twitch streamers now. Like, this guy is just doing leftist talking points on Twitch to a whole like chat with like this is stuff we couldn't have imagined 5 years ago. And that's what happens when people decide to claim some space and put a message out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so to extrapolate that into, I guess, a smaller thing when it comes to BTS stuff, it's like we already know that there's all these videos out here of people who very easily gain clout and all this like circle jerk stuff from
Mm-hmm.
shitting on BTS, shitting on armies, spreading these K-pop
Yeah.
lies, whatever. Somebody's
Mm-hmm.
gotta be here to elevate the other side, and elevate an
Right.
other side that we can prove has more truth on its side, has
Mm-hmm.
better thinking on its side, has more emotional and like rational intelligence and political, history on its side, that can counter that.
Right.
And if anybody's interested in that other side, they can find us and be like, they're better. They know what they're talking about. These other
Mm-hmm.
people, they're not as good. So for all the folks
Mm-hmm.
that are already
Right.
down their whole rabbit hole and they're not going to convert, let them be. But even one
Yeah.
of them might convert. You never know. But you can't just sit on your hands. And so
Right.
I always
You never
encourage
know.
people who are armies, like especially
Right.
like get out of the army Twitter bubble. You're arguing the same things with the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
People, it's not a real point of conversation. Use this place as some way to leverage and like learn, and then perhaps spread the information other places if that's something that you're interested in doing. And I think someone like you and
Mm-hmm.
someone like Naya and someone like Gabby, like, I want to encourage you guys as much as possible, even if none of the stuff that you end up doing is about BTS, because we
Right.
need this stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see this type of, this like rhetoric against BTS and armies. It's like super popular, right? I mean, a lot of people are convinced, um, you know, there's a lot of lies that people believe in very easily,
Yeah.
right? And it's important, it's important that we do, defend ourselves. I feel like we have every right to say something, because at the end, it's a space that matters to us, and, we should be able to protect it, I guess. So it's important that, again, the people, it's important that we do have, and it's also something that I've kind of noticed, because, I've been on Army Twitter for some time, right? But I was never really interested in a lot of discourse that happened outside of Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think following a lot of new people, especially like you and a whole circle of amazing people actually, I feel like there's so much that needs to be said and so much that should be said. And again, it's important that we get out of that army bubble, right? Because I mean, when you do see different things, you realize, oh my God, we're having the same conversation 3 times a week, you know, right? 3 times a week, it's the same thing again and again, right? It
Seven
gets
times a week.
exhausting when it's seven. Exactly. That's that's more likely. So you see the same discussion happen again and again, and it's like, I mean, I think that it impacts your experience studying BTS as well, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's important that we look for discussions outside, try to use our space as in ways we can to do something meaningful, right? So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's super important.
Yeah, I mean, I always, I benefit so much from this fandom. My life
Right.
changed because of this fandom. My life changed because of BTS.
Mm-hmm.
So it really helps motivate me in a way to, when I do stuff, try to give something that can be valuable.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have a very unique background. I'm a kind of a person that, like, I know about very random things, or like, I have some different experiences and training and knowledge about certain things that maybe other people don't. And I have some
Yeah.
views and some feelings and some like there's things that I can do. So yeah, when I made this channel was years ago and it was for a different purpose. But when I started doing
Mm-hmm.
BTS videos on this channel, it was kind of like, hey, let me add something new and see what this does.
Right.
And the first video essay we
Yeah.
did on here was about like BTS and mental health. That was in summer of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and it got a pretty decent amount of views, but not like anything like what the BTS versus K-pop or a couple other of our videos have done. Like it might have gotten tens of
Yeah.
thousands, right? Whereas
Right.
when we did the BTS versus K-pop video, that's over like easily got over 100,000. I wonder where it's at right now, but like it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
you don't see at first the fruits, right? You don't see at first. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
at 200K. You don't see at first the fruits of, oh, like this effort, this thing that I try to contribute. But when one person comes up to me and is like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
baby, like the video that you guys did on this channel, I showed it to my dad, and now he
Right.
understands a lot more about BTS and respects, like, oh, like the thing that
Right.
you said about D'Angelo, like that was really eye opening because I had these feelings too in the way you put it. Like all these different things, just in
Yeah.
and of themselves, even aside from whatever numbers, is like that just tells me that what I did was enough. And whatever people say and whatever I benefit or lose or whatever, like I know that that's just confirmation of I did something well,
Mm-hmm.
or I did something that was
Right.
that I wanted to do. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
affect people in a way where you kind of see something new. And when you see
Right.
something new, you might react to it in different ways, but I don't, I don't feel like I'll
Mm-hmm.
ever be accused of being like um the same. Like I feel like I don't feel like what we do at Baby Gang will ever be confused with like anybody else's thing, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I don't want that. Like, it's not about like attention. I'm about attention from armies and becoming like this BTS influencer, right? Like, I have
Right.
my own career and stuff that I want to do, but
Mm-hmm.
I would love, and I've been talking about it for a while. Like, I really want to encourage people in this fandom to elevate and claim some space and some power where they can do something good with it. Like if you
Yeah.
have something that you can offer that you don't feel like anybody else is offering, do it, cause
Right.
you never know who you're gonna affect, and you never know. Like right now, things may look a certain way, but a year from now, things will look completely different.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like the way that BTS, like even from 2019, the stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you would see on YouTube about BTS and the things that people would say about BTS regularly, it's very different now
Mm-hmm.
in 2 years because of what
Mm.
BTS has done in that time, because of what Army has done in that time. And so if you
Yeah.
think about that, then why do you expect that in 2 years everything will be the same? It won't. It's going to continue to transform.
It won't.
So we might as well
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
try to do something valuable that when
Right.
the transformation happens, you might have some role to play in it. I
Right.
think that
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
That would be, yeah, that would be, I mean, the narrative surrounding BTS and armies is changing a lot,
Yeah.
right? I feel like, I mean, it doesn't really hit you until you reflect back and you're like, okay, wow, things are a lot different now.
Yeah.
Worse now, but no, trust me, they're doing a lot better now
Yeah.
than what we had to deal with before, right? And
Right.
I think, when I think about what armies as a fandom can do, right? It's amazing outside in different other fandoms or different communities, right? What we do is truly something unique to us, right? So yeah, I definitely feel like the more people, the more in control we get, I guess, in control, we do have the likelihood of us changing narratives is actually pretty high. I feel like,
Yeah.
um, it's pretty high. We do have the upper hand. We have people who truly care about things, in respect to BTS and homies. We do have the upper hand when it comes to things like this, and it's important that we encourage others to do the right thing. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, I do believe in that. Um,
Yeah. You can't, you know, I feel like at a certain point you have to just like listen to yourself, and you have to like be
right,
like, if I feel like doing this, I'm gonna do it,
right,
and
yeah,
just let it be whatever happens, like unless like, yeah, it's just complicated. But when it comes to
hmm
like BTS recently, like there's still so many talking points, and so many things, so much information that even we have yet to really unpack, let alone stuff that we have to show the rest of the world. And
right,
I have many things, ideas of things I want to do for this channel. Um, it's not just me too. It's Danai who sort of directs the channel visually for the putting together the visuals for the videos. And I have other people that are on board, and I have a sort of vision for how things are gonna
yeah,
do in the future. Like there's stuff coming up with this channel, guys. Like very very soon.
amazing, yeah.
That
I'm excited.
some
Yeah.
of it is about BTS, some of it isn't. But when it comes to the stuff
hmm
about BTS, the idea I'll
Right.
sort of say is like finding those things that we can say that can hit somehow
Mm.
with the algorithm, somehow with different types of audiences, and show like this is something that the world can learn about BTS, and this is some way that this is how it's important. So if I have the opportunity, like I'm working on stuff where it's like we're talking about BTS's artistry in a way, right? There's a lot of people that still don't really realize that BTS are doing all these different things artistically and are still saying to themselves like, we need more of this in popular music, we need more of that in popular music, while BTS is right there doing it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
having the opportunity to potentially pass that, I feel like it's something that we're in a position where we can do, that I'm in a position where I can
hmm
do. And so with this channel, I hope to do that. And for me, there's a lot of rewards, and one of the rewards is that sometimes people know me. Yes, I like attention. Yes, I like when people find me on Twitter. Yes, I like when people find me on these streams and it's like, oh, check out your music. Yeah, like I want to be I'm a musician, I'm an artist. Like that's the thing I care about the
Yeah.
most. But
hmm
I'm also not somebody with long-term goals about things. I just want to do a thing that's good, because I know if I do a thing that's good
hmm
and it's unique and will work, that people will be affected by it, and people might be affected by it in a
Right.
good way. So, you
hmm
know, I just sort of recoil at like insular stuff. I recoil when armies just keep everything here.
Yeah.
Like your average, like the part of the reason like so many armies are on so many different pages is because armies keep everything here. So one army that's been on army Twitter for 5 years and another army that's been on Instagram, whatever, both have different things going on because none of them we're not sharing. We're not putting things out
hmm
there. We're not
Right.
really building a larger discourse and a larger connection.
hmm
Because we're not doing that, there's so many opportunities that we miss just for ourselves, let alone for like converting people to liking BTS. It's not about converting people to liking BTS, really. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
put things out there when it's in you and there's a value to it. I believe in that very
Right.
firmly. And so hopefully when people see us do that, I would love for the message for them to be like, oh, you know what? I have some things to say about BTS's music videos. Maybe I'll do a channel where I talk about them. Maybe I'll do a da
Right.
da da, and like I'll really work on it and make sure that they're good and make sure that they work with the algorithm, da da da, and not just I don't want to get involved. Oh, I don't feel like I'm gonna be good. Oh, I don't feel like I'm this. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit? You know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
do your
yeah.
best, try it, put it out there. And even if you didn't do
Right.
the perfect thing that you thought was going to be great, somebody else will see it,
Mhm.
appreciate it, and maybe they'll do something better than what you did. So,
Right.
but nothing good comes of I'm keeping everything here. I'm keeping everything close to the chest. It's going to die with me, like Gray says in
Yeah.
the chat.
Right. No, because I mean, I think BTS's music and their artistry just brings out a lot in
Yeah.
you, right? Right. I feel like their music really resonates with people who, I mean, it resonates in us in a way that doesn't like it's hard to find that. What I mean, personally, what I feel, um, like the first thing that drew me to BTS was their lyrics, right?
Yeah.
um, but it wasn't. Yeah, so I mean, I remember writing about Mono in 2018 because I love the lyrics so much. But yeah, I mean, it's important. Like, I would rather us have spend time appreciating BTS and what they do,
Yeah.
than engage in things that don't really matter. So yeah, I would love more of that actually. That would. I mean, imagine how better Twitter would be if people really spend more time talking about things that really changed us. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, like, I've recently kind of felt like I don't care about long-term goals, and all I'm trying to do is just like what I want to do. So if I want to make a
Yeah.
video about BTS, I'll do it, and I'll just try to make it good.
Right.
If I want to make a song that has nothing to do with anything except something I thought about, I'll do it. If I want to make a video about something else, I'll do it.
Right.
And whatever happens, happens. And I hope that more people can learn from that, because I think in our world and in this section of the world, like in this section of online,
Mm-hmm.
we're too used to being told that we're not capable of that. We're too used to being told you can't do what you want. You have to wait until other people allow you to do it. And just like we don't need permission to dance, we also don't need permission to be ourselves. We don't
I was just
need
thinking.
we don't need
I was just
permission to
thinking
do
that.
things, yeah. So I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
That's a rant.
No, but it's actually um, yeah. I feel like people should if we act on that, like kind of like if we felt something, we said something instead of just keeping it all in. That wouldn't be actually pretty amazing. But I feel like there's just this fear of being rejected, or this fear of not being understood, or this fear of not having your words being taken seriously, or whatever you do seriously. It
Yeah.
stops a lot of us from doing. I mean, it's not just like things about BTS. It's about a lot of things in general, right? That's that fear that stops us. But yeah, I wish like we just write about BTS. I mean, we just do things on a whim. Yeah, that would be yeah, because I find myself a lot stopping myself from saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
Maybe now it's not the right time. Maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't say this. I don't know. I find myself stopping. I stop myself from doing that a lot. But yeah, I think it's important to say what you want to, right? Because at the end, it's something that needs to be said if you feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, self-control is always a good thing. It's always good to be able to be like, oh, this perhaps I won't say.
Yeah.
This thing I want to do, perhaps I
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
do it yet. Sometimes you gotta wait
I
until
wish
it's
more
right.
people. Yeah. 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 That's necessary. Like I wish. Actually, sometimes I feel like I wish people would stop and ask themselves if it's necessary. Right. That's their tour.
Right.
Right. Um,
I think it's necessary. Necessary is tough. I think you can never know for sure, but you can kind of tell sometimes when you might be able to add some sort of value to something. Like,
Right.
I don't know if this is necessary, me doing this reaction video, maybe doing this live stream, whatever, but somebody might get some value from it because I might be able to offer something valuable, you know?
Right.
So there's a lot of things when it comes to BTS that, for instance, like, that things that, like, I wish I would love for other people to really put out there.
Right.
Um, one thing is, you know, I feel like it's become kind of normalized for people to sort of completely ignore that B ever existed. And it's become kind of a meme at this point because it's like people consistently talk about, oh, BTS are only doing English songs now as if that album never happened. Or BTS aren't doing
Right.
these messages, da da da, as if that album never happened. They're not doing hip hop as if disease never happened. You know, like, themes.
Right. Right. It hasn't even been a year. Like, okay, I get short-term memory exists, but it hasn't even been a year.
Yeah, like this idea, like, oh, BTS need to drop an album. They haven't dropped an album all year. Yes, they have. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Or I would love to.
Right. Exactly.
I would love to see more armies address things like that and things like, you know, misinformation on YouTube, which is always there. There's so much people. There's so many people just constantly, intentionally putting out misinformation about BTS on YouTube. You know, and farming content. You know, there's so much to talk about. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to rant more, but I just feel like people need to, like, kind of embrace that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like, your writing and stuff, like, have you been up to anything? Are there things that you're looking at potentially doing in terms of just writing stuff or just working on projects in general?
Right. So in writing in general, I haven't been up. I mean, I was looking into the what we discussed. I don't know if I feel like I should talk more about it, but what we discussed.
You can go in. I don't say as much as you want.
Yeah. So I was, you know, because I feel like there, you know, while I do agree that there's a lot that needs to be said, I don't know where to start, which is something I struggle with often. Because right, I feel much more comfortable just writing about BTS like lyrics and music. Like I think that's where I'm more comfortable and it's my strongest force. But I do, and I would love to go outside of that because there's so much more that needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
Right. But while I do, you know, while I do want to write, I also kind of understand, or I'm beginning to understand, that there's still so much that I need to learn before I, you know, speak on it and write, which is something I'm looking into, you know. And I think actually, yeah, on Twitter especially, I've been, you know, I've had a lot of conversations that I wouldn't have participated if I wasn't, you know, in the fandom or whatever, which I'm super grateful for.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, like last week we were talking, you know, this whole thing about Spotify. I do not think I would have ever, right? I would have never, you know, got into it or understood any of it if I wasn't into BTS. I don't think I would have, you know, had that opportunity. So, you know, there's a lot that I want to write about, but I usually, again, I work like, you know, I write an article about something that's happening right now and I just post it out. Because I do not write, I don't work well with planning articles over weeks. Like I just write it on one go and throw it out. But yeah, I would love to, you know, go into much more serious topics that need to be spoken about. But for now, I'm much more happier just kind of, you know, I know, uplifting people who are already speaking out because there's a lot of people saying important things. So
I think, yeah, that sounds quite good. It's interesting to hear you talk about your writing process.
Right.
Everybody has their own thing. And some of us, like, I feel like some of this is in my natal chart and some of this is just like things I've noticed or whatever, but like I've definitely felt like when I do something sporadic and I just engage in it and just do a thing, it does better than when I'm like, let me plan this out,
Yeah.
make this a thing, and then it's gonna go like this. And everybody has a process. Some people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
while outlining and planning things, yeah, sure, to a degree, we all have to do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something that, I can do with such amount of length and such amount of organization so easily. But tapping into something that's like very just natural and just going with it, I feel like
Right.
people are very receptive to that. And I feel like one of the
Yeah.
biggest things when you're trying to put things out there is noticing what people are receptive to. Like, when I
Mm-hmm.
do this, how do people react? For you, like, what do you feel like people have given you the most, like, respect or engagement for when you do it? Like, what kind of energy do people sort of respond to the most from you? Is it like, oh, I'm like ranting because I'm angry about something energy, or is it like I'm researched and giving you like a detailed thing energy, or is it like a healing? What is the kind of energy that you feel like, oh, people have given me a lot of love every time I tap into that?
Right. I feel like there's a lot of different, responses when you put something out, right? Um,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, my last article, the article I wrote about Namjoon's I cannot pronounce the word.
Yeah.
Lyrics, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, my tongue just rolled up. Right. So, the response that I got was huge, right? It was huge. I did not expect any of that. And a lot of people were, it was amazing.
Why do you think that is?
response. I feel it's not that I definitely don't think that a lot of people don't appreciate Namjoon, because this fandom loves him. It's beautiful to see. What I think is that, I think a lot of people, when I shared what I did, a lot of people were just super grateful that it was in words, right? That it was in this one, that people could read what Namjoon made them feel. So a lot of people were grateful for that. Right. So, which again was amazing to see, and it made me feel super, overwhelmed and very happy to see that actually.
Yeah.
And I've also written articles about, I think the racism BTS have, faced in Western industry, and especially, that whole. I wrote about the whole thing with the radio host, the German radio host, and a lot of people were like, "Thank you for saying this," right? So, I feel like every time I put something out, there's a different energy that I get back. But it's all, it all connects to the same thing where people are just like, thank you for saying this.
Right.
Right? Thank you for saying this. And which I'm super, it kind of gives you that sense of fulfillment. Like, okay, I'm glad I said it. Right?
Right. Because, like,
right? So, yeah.
I feel like people kind of give me that energy, but I feel like a lot of what I notice when, for instance, I'll do like an essay about BTS is people kind of feeling like I was able to say things that they hadn't thought about or that they didn't know about.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not that would confirm feelings that they had, but they didn't have the knowledge or whatever facilities to really like understand it, so they kind of didn't really process it. Like, I feel like when I did the BTS versus K-pop video, not to sound like I'm super praising of myself, it's just I try to notice these things. I feel like that video or the video about the Frost tweet or whatever, these are videos where I kind of looked at something and then was like, let me draw from this political issue, let me draw from this philosophical idea or whatever, and these different things that exist, and connect it to something larger through these different channels of, these different points of interest. And that made people feel like, wow, like there's all this depth behind something, and you came off as somebody who's really like intelligent. Like people always kind of try to compliment my intelligence, which I'm whatever about. Like, I don't feel like I'm smarter than anybody. I just feel like I think differently, and the way, and I'm privileged and I'm able to like make it work sometimes. But people often were like, oh, you're so smart, like you're so like, how do you know all this stuff, how do you say all this stuff? Sometimes people will be like, how do you how do you get all this stuff done, which is very funny to me because in my mind I don't get anything done, right? Like in my mind, like I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow, this, you saw one thing but I
Yeah.
was thinking about 1,000 things, right?
Right.
um
Yeah.
so for you, what when people say like, oh, like you said something that, I'm glad, thank you for saying this, do
Mhm.
you feel like maybe they feel like they're healed by it? Like, do you feel like maybe they feel like you're speaking as somebody that like is almost comforting people who have this feeling to know that their feeling is valid and that somebody else can present that feeling too? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like when I write, I mean, it's my words, right? But I don't think, I mean, I feel like I've borrowed every single line from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that sentiment that I put into my words is something that most of us feel, right? Um, so when I do write about that, so I mean, that's why, I mean, the response that I get kind of makes sense because at the end, I'm saying what all of us need say, but, in just this one single piece, I
Yeah.
feel, right? And I do like when I write about, I think my favorite thing ever is just to write about BTS's music lyrics because it just shifts something inside of me, right? So,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, um, so when people read that and they say, I definitely feel like when I read your works or when I watch your videos, you do offer like this whole new perspective on things that I never really noticed, right? And it's very
Mm.
apparent because of what you know, right? So you offer this thing, um, and you are smart, by the way. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, I noticed that, and I'm super glad that you are saying that because, you're making use of what you know and what you feel and you're putting that together, which is
Mm.
super important, feel. Because sometimes when I say what I want to, I really wish there was more I could say
Yeah.
that, more that I could, like something more meaningful or something that would make people understand, like, hey, okay, what they're saying is something that, I wish more people understood.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I write my work, like when I write my articles and stuff, I feel like I'm just this giant megaphone that speaks for that speaks for what other armies are saying, and I'm actually glad that I can do that. So it makes me happy that I could just write about what we're feeling and put that into words.
I feel
So yeah.
like, to borrow like an idea from our friend Awa, you radiate
Hmm.
like main character energy. I feel like you have this you have this quality. You have this
Right.
quality where like I think people see themselves in you in a way.
Hmm.
Because when you say things and when you talk and when you just show up, it almost is
Hmm.
very warm. It's like a warm feeling that people get because it's like, I feel like this person, like there's a feeling of home. Like there's a feeling of this person is, I
Hmm.
connect with who they are or how they come off.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel, connected. And it makes me feel like I have, that like I'm with somebody or I'm reading somebody that is me and represents me and sees me or is like, almost like family in a way. Even if people don't know you, even if they never talked to you, like you have
Hmm.
that nature where it's like everybody can kind of connect themselves to you. And
Right.
that energy is really powerful. I think I think it can be also, obviously you don't want to, get so like arrogant and be like, "Oh yeah, everybody loves me," but like I don't fear
Yeah.
that with you, but like I think sometimes we struggle to understand what people see in us.
Hmm.
And for you, you know, I feel like what people see in you is this very specific, like, live almost vicarious, like living through you kind of thing, because it's like they connect with you in a way that like you are almost a protagonist kind of figure. um is a kind of a deep thing, but I feel like when you pull from that, right? For instance, when you write about BTS's lyrics, what you say, and especially when you come from like this really normal, natural place, that is like, yeah, exactly. You know, like people kind of are like,
Yeah.
that is my main character. Being, you know, I'm seeing myself in the film. You know, I am connecting with that character, with who they are, and I think that you should be proud of that, and you should be aware of that. You know, I think sometimes we feel like we're not the person we need to be. Like, oh, I can't plan this, I can't write this in this way, I can't do this in that way. But for you, like, it's a perfect example of like exactly that energy is what people need. Like when I had Jetting on, you know, Jetting, hourly therapy.
Yeah.
Jetting is like people listen to her talk or read her tweets, and it's like, I feel like you're almost like a therapist. Well, she's a therapist, but like, it's like you have this almost authoritative, like she has this authoritative, like,
Yeah.
respected mother. You know what I mean? That kind of thing,
Yeah.
almost. Where like every time like she'll say something healing, it just feels so connective because it's like,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
wow, like you are this person I respect, and you're telling me
Mm-hmm.
this, and it really is important to me because like you're my like someone I look up to, like an authority figure. I feel like people look up to you, but in a different way, because in comparison, rather than see you as like this authoritative, motherly kind of figure, it's more like, yeah, Foz is like the embodiment of how I see myself, or who I would like to be, or who I feel like, who I resonate with. So don't be afraid of that ever. You know what I mean? Like, be real with
Yeah.
yourself on that. And people are agreeing with me in the
Wow.
chat, so.
Oh, wow. I'm on it. Thank you for saying that, honestly. Actually, I mean, to be honest, I am like when I mean, I do, I notice the response that I get, when I say things, right? Or when I put something out. And I mean, I feel I've had people say that, and when I think about it, it moves. I mean, it's just, I don't know, something. I feel like hugging every single person to my screen, like, I'm,
Mm.
because right, it's just, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not gonna cry right now, but it just means so much, right? When it means, I don't know, I mean, I think it's part of like what, if I can, yeah. I'm just starting over my words right now. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I
But
just read a
yeah,
comment that said that you that said the ideal army, which is a really kind of funny thing to. I think that's a good title for you. Foz, the ideal army.
so thank you but thank you for saying that. But yeah, I'm honestly, I feel like um I'm just, I'm really glad that I'm part of something so incredible. And I'm super, I'm very lucky to like have so much love, right? So when I see that kind of love, it makes me super, like maybe what I'm doing is worth it. I'm glad, I'm glad that I can give some form of comfort, some form of, healing or anything that I do. But at the end, it's just me saying things that I wish more people said, you
Hmm.
know? And I mean, when I say something, I don't really think too much of it. I just say what I wish people said to me more. So
Hmm.
I'm glad people find that comfort, and I hope everyone knows that I welcome you. I love you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we love you
I,
too, of course.
did my video go off? I think my video
Video
went off.
pause for a second. Yeah. I think it
Yeah,
happened a little bit earlier, and then it just came back naturally.
right. Let me just check my.
Yeah, you can tinker with it a
Sorry
little
about
bit
that.
too. I just think like,
Yeah.
you know, one thing that I've been thinking a lot about. Oh, we've got the switch up.
Yeah, I am moving back to my phone, I guess. Let me just give
Okay.
me a second.
Let me see if I can. Oh wait. Oh, we got some experimentation. That was kind of trippy to see double flaws.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the angle completely changed. I get that. Let me just fix
Yeah,
something.
it's all good. Ooh, and now there is one, and there it's just me.
Right. Yeah, it's just don't worry. I'm here. I'm still here. Um,
Yeah, Foz is definitely the protagonist.
yeah. I can't believe people are saying that. It actually kind of makes me want to laugh. Or like,
I mean,
it
I
makes me want
talk
to
to
laugh.
you, and I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not the main character. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm speaking to the main character, and I'm like a side character. You know what I mean? Like, which is like I'm happy with this role, but like it's kind of funny. It's kind of a funny feeling because
Yeah, my angle completely changed, but
that's fine. You look great.
that's fine. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What were we? I mean, yeah.
I mean, I was gonna sort of talk about like certain things that I work on lately are trying to like sort of work on focus and work on trying to understand myself and not necessarily just like go with the flow, but
Right.
um understand my flow and then try to just stay motivated on one thing at a time that I find important in that moment. And basically just to say like get things done. Okay, so I'm going to focus on this one thing and then do it. And I was having some real
Right.
trouble. I was dealing with some like depression, like a couple of days. Like I was just had a few days of an absolute rut where I couldn't even get out of bed. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for whatever reason, it was sort of this. You know, it's almost like life is teaching you things, right? And I feel like what life was trying to teach me was about like where to go, like what to really look for,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we look too hard towards like our inhibition or like our feeling in the moment and like chase that, and then we lose sight of what we actually want to do because our feelings are too topsy-turvy. But then sometimes we try to like plan everything out and be like, this is what I'm going to do because I'm going to feel this way, I'm going to do this, and that's not going to work either because you don't know of the thing you're going to do. You can plan things out to a T and everything changes up constantly.
Right.
And so
Right.
I'm trying to I've sort of learned that first of all, like, I'm almost 1,000% sure I have ADHD. I've known this kind of for a couple years. I've never gotten officially
Me
diagnosed.
too.
Yeah,
You're not
I'm
alone. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was just talking
Yeah.
about this on Twitter, but like I posted this video where I was basically talking about how like I was about to go outside for a walk, and I was
Right.
putting my socks on to put on my my shoes on, and I realized I didn't have my wallet or my headphones, and so I had put one sock on, and then I just kept the other sock off, got up, immediately started walking, looked for my wallet, my headphones, looked through my room holding a sock in my hand, and then was looking around, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to find my headphones, I need to find my wallet. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, I need to find both. And then I went back to the living room to discover that my wallet and my headphones were just on with the dining table the whole time, that I had put them there. And it was just like
Right.
it was just like a 3-minute cycle of me just completely lost, right? And this kind of thing happens to me quite regularly. And so one of the things I struggle with is focus and
Oh,
getting
God,
things done. And I'm starting to learn tactics and ways that I can get my brain to focus and get things done. And it feels as if I uncovered a superpower of some sort. Like I just feel like I'm so much in a better position right now than I was even like 4 days ago. And I think when we are in these periods of deep, like of a struggle or a rut, it's a great opportunity for us to learn ourselves and to learn how our brains work. And so I use like YouTube resources like How to ADHD and other like the other videos. Oh my God, Nadine has donated $20 and says, I'm really loving this chat, guys. Thank you for being so sharing and positive. Also love your previous video on toxicity. Much love from Australia. Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But yeah, so I kind of opened this up to say to you, like, Fawz, like, what do you feel like you're struggling with right now in terms of just like in your feelings and your thoughts and like how you've been feeling and how you've been kind of like figuring it out, you know?
Right. I mean, when you described what you were going through, I felt like, wow, okay, I feel like someone's just describing what I went through as well. Because, yeah,
Mm.
I do have a lot of, I mean, I think I do have those moments where I wonder and I question myself, like, what am I actually doing? And,
Right.
you know, I have these doubts where, like, what I do, is it meaningful, right? Does it even matter at the end? You know, those doubts that exist. Um, and I feel like, I mean, I feel like I'm in a much better space now,
Hmm.
but going through all of that was necessary because, because I feel like, without that discussion or without thinking about how I felt, I I wouldn't be able to enjoy, do what I do on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Um, Again, I'm going, yeah. So what I struggle a lot with, I think is, writing in general. It's kind of funny because I write and I put things out, um, and people read them, and I get so much love from it, and it's amazing, it's beautiful. It's like I'm super grateful for that. But what's funny is that I never really read what I write, right?
Right.
I've never read what I've written. So when I write something, okay, I go through it, just make sure that there's no embarrassing mistakes, and then I put it out, and
Yeah.
then I never touch it again. I never ever go through it again,
Mm.
which is, yeah. And when I go back to my writing after a few months or whatever, I don't recognize what I write because it's something. It's funny because I mean I was. It's like um, my words, they do come from a very important part of me, and they are mine. But I feel disconnected from them.
Yeah.
Um, right? Which is something that I know will take time to
Yeah.
understand or to feel that. So yeah, I think for me now, one of my struggles, or yeah, struggles in general, is kind of trying to understand that my writing is mine at the end,
Mm.
right? Because what we put out, um, every single piece of what we do is something truly unique, that's unique to us, right? So yeah, I think I'm working now on fostering that kind of love and attention that my writing deserves, I think. uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
right, right, yeah. And I'm like, I mean for the longest time I try to convince myself that you know um I feel like I need to understand that not everyone's nice, right? um if there's a reason why there's a reason why people say they like what you do, or not everyone is a good liar. So I
Right.
try to believe what people say about my writing, and I'm trying to just make sure that I appreciate what I do, you know for a change.
There's a lot of linkage between ADHD and imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think maybe so much of what I struggle with my writing just links back to ADHD, right? And I'm like, I need a diagnosis. I need, because I'm 100% sure I have it, which, you know, yeah,
It's there's a dark side to everything, right? And
right.
when I say things like, you have main character energy, you have protagonist energy, people tell you,
Hmm.
I can see myself in you, like I see, like you're like speaking for me, you're saying things out loud that I've been
Yeah.
thinking, whatever. That's a great
Hmm.
compliment, but I feel like it also is a great burden. It's a great pressure, probably.
Yeah, because yeah, it does. I mean, it does, because obviously I'm moved by what I received, and I'm grateful for it. But I always wonder, right? Like, what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if I say something that shouldn't be said? Or what if I hurt someone with what I say?
Right.
Um, I mean, there's always that fear that I might say something that I shouldn't. And I think I struggle. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't say struggle, maybe struggled, but it's still a work in progress. Um, I struggle a lot with that, and I feel like um, coming to terms with the idea that I'm doing what I can
Yeah.
and what I, what I do best.
Yeah.
I think for that is enough, right? That more than I think that makes a huge difference,
Yeah.
you know. right? And at the end of the day, I know myself better than anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Right? There's no way. I mean, I would never do something that hurts someone on purpose, but I'm also not responsible for what I make other people feel, right? So it's just like trying to find a balance between that.
Yeah.
Because obviously, right? I hope people, when people, follow my account, I just hope every one of them understands, right? That I'm still learning, that there's a lot
Yeah.
that I'm still learning, right? There's a lot I don't understand, um, and a lot that I want to say, but you know, um, but I feel, I'm just waiting for the right moment. So yeah, I'm doing what I can, and I'm doing what I do best for now, and I think that that's what matters.
It is. It is. It's the right message. I think
Mm.
sometimes when I read your writing, or I hear you speak, I think I get a sense, not necessarily for certain, but of a potential for you looking to be the thing and trying to, you know, trying hard to sound like the thing, to write like the thing, to be like the thing. I think it's something we all struggle with, and it's in our own ways. But I think sometimes with you, there's probably still a feeling of like, what do I sound like? What is my voice? Who am I
Mm-hmm.
really? How do I feel? How do
Yeah.
I go through things? How do I think?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can be mounted with pressure when you're dealing with the sense that you have some obligation to represent people, or that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes somehow you're supposed to be, with this platform that you have and with this talent that you have, you're supposed to be this particular sort of protagonist, right? I
Right.
think it is, especially natural since you're so young. We're both so young to feel that like pressing. Okay, well, I need to like my writing. Like, did I word this in a way that sounds like the right
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing? Did I make this sound professional enough? Did I make it sound emotionally resonant enough? And these kinds
Right.
of thoughts, I think, are distractions. I think for
Mm-hmm.
you, you should focus on whether your writing does the thing it sets out to do. If you
Mm-hmm.
write something, for instance, that's supposed to be a manual for how to play a video game, all the
Right.
instructions you want to write as clearly as possible so that the widest amount of people can take away the correct information as easily as possible. So you use
Right.
specific language, you use simple language. I think for you, when you feel something flowery, you should write flowery. And when you feel something very blunt, you should write blunt. And you should
Mm-hmm.
think about, I'm going to write it this way because my audience will have the best chance of feeling it this way. And that's it. And try not to
Right.
turmoil too much over, is it better if I try to make it this way? Is it better if I try to make it that way? Because all you're gonna do is sit there
Mm-hmm.
and fumble and struggle and then never start anything. And you're never gonna know how to start because you're not gonna know what your outside is. If you have
Right.
this idea and you immediately start writing, you'll never worry about knowing when to start or how to start. You never worry about what should my opening
Right.
sentence be because you're literally just putting the thing down. But when you have this
Mm-hmm.
idea and you're like, let me think about this idea, and then a day passes by and you're like, well, there's a couple ideas I could do with this idea. There's a couple ways I could write it. And then 2 days pass by and it's like, okay, I'm gonna start writing like this. Let me make it out. You're losing it. You're losing it. Okay.
Yeah.
You can only
Right.
do that when you know exactly how the thing should be communicated and you don't feel a doubt. You don't feel a thought process. It's just that's what it is. So try to
Right.
think less and write more. And you will see the things that you want to see. That's my advice to you.
That's actually the best piece of advice I've had about writing. So thank you for that. But
Writing is
but
supposed
it's
to be,
actually
yeah, it's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be you.
right. Exactly. Yeah. And I think I do write best when I just don't think. Like I just write. That's the best way to write, I think. I mean, when I think about, and I again, planning stuff and outlining. I mean, of course, it's necessary. You know what you write about, but
Yeah.
again, these are things that we can plan as we write. You know, it comes more ideas come to your head
Yeah.
while you write. I feel like, right? That, you know. So yeah, when I do like, you know, when I think about something, I'm like, you know, maybe I should write about it. I never get it done, right? I never get it done. It's when I sit down and be like, you know what, let's just write about this. And when I actually start writing, the words just come so easily, right? And I wonder, like, why did I ever, you know, think so much about writing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So you had those moments, and to be honest, um, I regret spending so much time thinking about my writing,
Yeah.
you know, what I should write about, how are people going to receive this, you know, when I could spend time writing, you know, that's what I think about
Yeah.
often, right? Right. So yeah, I mean, of course, there's like a lot of anxiety that comes with writing, and you know, I feel like when you put something, you know, when you put something of yourself into your writing and you put it out, obviously, you're gonna be conscious of the response or the feedback or whatever. Um, but I feel like, you know, the best way to write is just to write. Yeah, and that is something I will be thinking about more often. And yeah, because I have way too many drafts right now. Uh, way too many drafts.
uh,
Way too many drafts. Like, yeah, so let me just start on something. Hopefully, because I haven't written in some time. I just noticed. Ooh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's been a while. We're waiting.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. Hopefully, I write something that I should. Yeah.
I think you'll be fine, but don't stop yourself.
Mm.
And stop and don't press. Stop. Don't press. Don't press. Don't stress yourself. Just do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I think that's a good place to end. I hope that folks in
Yeah.
the chat took good things away from this. We had some interesting conversation about BTS and other stuff.
Right.
We should do this again sometime soon.
Yeah. This was an. Yeah, I'm definitely much less nervous than I was last time, I think. Yeah.
First time's always hard.
Right. It was a good conversation.
Great conversation. Well, go follow fawzul at August Randa. You can follow me at Elliot Sang, or Baby Gang Media is our Baby Gang account. Tomorrow we're gonna be posting our first ever short on this channel. It's gonna be something about a Korean hip hop artist, just a 1 minute thing. So if you guys are interested in something like that, it'll be there. If not, feel free to ignore it. But we got a lot of stuff on the way. Check out the video that we posted on here earlier from today that Denai edited. It's me ranting about toxicity. Our army's toxic. Da da da. And check out Gabby's videos. Check out Fawzul's writing, and check yourself out. See if you're doing okay. Be good to yourself. Any last words before we go, Faz?
Yeah. Please be kind to yourself, and
Yeah.
you're doing great. Yeah.
It's a great way to start. Great way to stop it. You're doing great. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. See you soon. I don't know when, but soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.